sleep is crazy. You put vitamin C too?
I just put on glutathione right now. I'm gonna put vitamin C and everything in here. Put on glutathione right now. I'm gonna put vitamin C and everything in here.
What's up, boxing world? This is Raw Boxing Magic, and I'm back with another video. I want to talk about the Ryan Garcia situation and the PED use. Henry Garcia, Ryan Garcia's father, just recently went on an interview with, I believe, Mill City Boxing. And he spoke about how Bill Haney was standing right there while Ryan Garcia received an IV to rehydrate, and said that Bill Haney didn't have a problem with it. Now, either that's a great flaw on behalf of Bill Haney, or Bill Haney maybe didn't know how deep that rabbit hole actually went. Because what I want to talk about in today's video is that IV that he's using was not just for putting your regular vitamins and minerals back into the body to properly rehydrate by doing it intravenously. That it was actually meant to eliminate and detoxify any drug use or any traces of anything he had in his body that was not supposed to be there. The IV was used to expel the body of toxins and to mask that he was using a performance-enhancing drug. Somebody come look at this. Come look at this. So recently, Ryan Garcia has been cleared of the use of the drug called nandrolone, where it was kind of an inconclusive test. But I'm thinking that with that IV that flushes out these drugs that are used, that they originally tested and did find a trace of nandrolone, because they would have had to for them to put a name on it. Okay, so this is somebody who's deliberately pushing these toxins out in time for it not to be read on this test. On the episode called 40 Days, in a promotion for this fight between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, it was something rather peculiar in that first episode. It shows Ryan Garcia being administered an IV, and he says it's because he had lack of sleep and he wanted to get the electrolytes and minerals back in his body and get all the vitamins that he needs. But when he asked the guy who was administering this IV, what was he putting in? The first thing that he said out of his mouth was glutathione. Glutathione is something that the body naturally produces, and it's usually during sleep when the body is still. This is the recovery moment. This is where the body detoxifies and basically replenishes itself. So it kicks on something called glutathione. So this was being administered, and it was a synthetic glutathione that sparked an aggressive detoxification process, because the IV obviously hits the bloodstream. Usually if you take minerals and vitamins, you only get about 30 to 40% absorption of the phytonutrients that you need. But with this IV, you get almost 100% of everything that's being pumped through this needle. Okay, so what does this mean? This glutathione, again, as I said, is a detoxification process. But you would have to ask yourself, so early in camp, this probably was filmed in maybe March. He was far from his weight range. Why is he already getting an IV? What was he trying to detoxify? What toxins was he trying to dispel out of his body? Now, mind you, we're going to get back to this, but here's a very, very telltale sign. He stated that he had been smoking and drinking throughout the camp. So one would ask the question, if you were truly smoking and drinking, if that wasn't a lie, a lot of people will get on here and say, oh, you know how he does, he just trolls. No, let's call it what it is. A lie is a lie. The Let's not dress it up and say he's trolling. So either he lied about smoking during this camp, or he actually was. But then you have to beg the question, why didn't the marijuana turn up in any of these tests? So if he was in fact smoking, that means that some way, somehow, he flushed it out of his system before any tests from VADA could detect it. And all of my weed smokers know it takes 30 days or more, depending on how much you smoke, for the marijuana to get out of your system. So how was he masking this? How was he flushing this out of his system in time? It looks like this IV. But let's go into some medical articles for those that don't believe. So what is intravenous IV therapy? Real quick, intravenous IV therapy is a quick and easy way to detox and cleanse your body allopathically. It involves intravenously delivering a hefty and hydrating dose of vitamins that flush out your system. Using IV therapy to detox, a simple and effective way to remove toxins and improve liver function. Further expand upon intravenous detoxification, also called detox therapy. It is an effective method used in substance abuse detoxification centers for safe withdrawal from drugs of abuse. IV therapy detox purges these drugs and toxins from the system while also replenishing the body's depleted stores of fluids and nutrients. Consequently, IV therapy for drug detox lowers withdrawal symptoms, reducing cravings, and energizes the body. So it purges the system of any toxins. So one could gather that you can flush out and remove anything foreign put in through this IV, like PEDs. Now we all know that Ryan Garcia popped dirty in 2 tests for ostarine. Now the ostarine, he overdid it, or he didn't get the amount of ostarine out of his system that he needed, because the allowable limit is 1 nanogram of ostarine according to VADA. But he had 6 nanograms of ostarine in his system, which is 60 times over the limit. So that takes us right on here to this article. And it reads, IV detox treatment involves introducing nutrients such as amino acids, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and in some cases, oxygen, directly into the bloodstream of a recovering addict through a vein. Delivering these nutrients helps to purge out drugs and neutralize toxins in the body. So if Ryan Garcia was using something, using this IV would be the perfect way to flush out these toxins, to flush out this drug. I mean, is it that far-fetched that the same drug that he is using aids him in the very problem that he said he had, and that was making weight? This is why he came in 3.2 pounds over the weight limit, because he said his body couldn't go any further. And he dropped a significant amount of weight in a very, very short time, like a day, 12 pounds or something crazy like that in one day. How could he do that if not aided by a drug like ostarine? Because ostarine helps you to lose weight without losing your muscle mass. So that tells you a lot right there. And we're going to get into more of exactly what ostarine does, because I don't think people understand the severity of how this aids a person that fights, a fighter, and the tremendous effect it would have on his performance as an athlete. let's move on to this article right here. So now we want to talk about what was being administered to Ryan Garcia. And the first thing that was said on that 40 Days Out, or whatever the show was called, where it spoke, where the guy putting in the IV said that he was putting in glutathione. So this is just a brief summary on what glutathione is and what it is used for. So IV detoxification drips with glutathione have been popular in recent times for the treatment of substance abuse disorders. These drips deliver glutathione, a powerful antioxidant, directly into the bloodstream, where it neutralizes free radicals released by alcohol and psychoactive drugs. Chronic drug and alcohol addiction leads to oxidative stress, where free radicals and pro-inflammatory chemicals such as reactive oxygen species are more abundant in circulation than anti-inflammatory compounds. So these drugs deplete the body's natural antioxidants and cause an oxidant imbalance that results in several adverse changes, including cognitive impairment and neurological toxicity. As an essential part of the weaning off process, glutathione is delivered to the brain through the bloodstream, where it restores this balance, potentially reversing many of these oxidant-induced changes. It helps to expedite the detoxification from toxins. Expedite. So it's meant to speed up the detoxification process. So if Ryan Garcia, he got his test results back on April 13th, all right, we would have to know when was the last time he was actually tested, because April 13th was actually the day that he got the results back, not the day he tested. So now you have that gap in between the 13th up until the 19th. I'm not sure if he was tested in between there. And if he was, someone could correct me if I'm wrong. So this is showing you that it is possible that by using this intravenous way of supposedly rehydrating and replenishing, but they're also using things, antioxidants like glutathione, which is something naturally that the body has. If you've ever wondered why you sweat so much when you sleep, that is the body trying to expel those toxins from your body, because your lymphatic system is not moving or working properly. The lymphatic system is the sewage system of the body. And if it's not moving and you're not able to defecate out the toxins, and you're not able to piss out the toxins through the urea, then the lymphatic system becomes stagnated, and it is not moving properly to properly break down the metabolic waste in the lymph nodes. So the body will create something called a fontanelle, which is simply an alternative route of elimination. So these toxins will start to push out through your pores, which is why you sweat when you sleep. When you sleep, glutathione is kicked on. So in this particular situation, Ryan Garcia said he was deprived of sleep. He only had about 2 hours of sleep. All right. And one would say, well, that's why he needed the glutathione, because he didn't get the sleep. But wait a minute. You got to understand how much quicker the glutathione that he administered to Ryan Garcia, this doctor or whoever he was, how much quicker that runs through the bloodstream and how much quicker that flushes the system. And we don't know how much glutathione he used, because when the body naturally produces it, it's only kicking out a certain amount. So you're only going to be able to regenerate or replenish to a certain amount. So by doing this intravenously, you're speeding the process up. And in this article is saying that glutathione and other substances used in this IV could flush the system. Because if he's telling the truth about smoking marijuana, why hasn't even the marijuana showed up? Now, it seems to me that he wasn't able to get all of the traces of the ostarine out of his blood in time, out of his urine in time, because it still showed up. 6 nanograms, right? 60 times over the allowed limit. Now, again, he's been cleared of nandrolone, right? So I really don't want to speak too much on the nandrolone, but all I'm going to say is it said the test was inconclusive, right? So you couldn't confirm that it was nandrolone. But why was nandrolone even an option? It had to be something that indicated that this was this anabolic steroid. But either way, he's cleared. But he still has to answer to the ostarine. And they'll be testing his B sample May 22nd. So I hope this shed a little bit more light on what could be going on and how he could be weaning himself off from this. And maybe he was even trying to cover up the fact that he may have been using controlled substances like cocaine, because none of this showed up in his system. But Ryan Garcia has shown evidence of withdrawals. He's shown evidence of coke jaw. I've put this in other videos. He's shown evidence, the growling, the yelling, the screaming, the derogatory remarks, the highly sexual derogatory remarks. All of these are indicative of somebody that is on some kind of PED or some kind of steroid. If you've ever seen people that use steroids, how they act, they can have pissy or shitty attitudes at times. They can lash out and be harmful or dangerous. And just look at how Ryan Garcia has been acting. He's showing the symptoms from using these things that he's been accused of using. So you're being accused of using things like cocaine, and you're also being accused of using PEDs. And then you're acting like it. I mean, all of this behavior is indicative of a person that was juicing, if I'm being quite frank. You know, is it a chance that I could be wrong? Maybe. But I'm giving medical and scientific evidence on top of what I'm saying and what I'm seeing, and the evidence that has been put out there for the public to see. So this has nothing to do with me not liking Ryan Garcia or anything like that. I'm just shedding light on the facts that if a person claims to be smoking and drinking, why is the smoking not showing up in his test? If you don't take many supplements, why is ostarine showing up in the test? Why was nandrolone even a discussion? Proof is right here, but we do have to wait and see. And when the B samples come out, but at the end of the day, the New York Athletic Commission, I think is the end all be all in this situation. But by now you should know my temperature. I don't do no faking or no frauding. That ain't my texture. Love y'all. Like, share, and subscribe. That's all I got for now. So you know what?